I'm going to show you very briefly how to use Google Sketchup, and this is what you can use to draw your cutting board. When you open up Google Sketchup, you'll see this learning center. It's fantastic, heaps of different activities you can do to increase your skills in using Google Sketchup. But for this stage, I just want you to exit that. Can I get you to double check that under Windows in Preferences that it's set to metric millimeters? If you're using the latest version of Google Sketchup, it'll ask you to it'll open up straight away with a drawing template. It'll ask you which one. Architectural design drawing template in 2D millimeters. That's the one that you select, and then the preferences should already be selected to that. Once you've got Google Sketchup open, go to Standard Views and go to Standard Views and go ISO, and that gives you an isometric projection of the object. This tool here is Orbit tool, is also a handy one to orbit round. I like to have the red axis going out to my right. Okay, that red axis is the length of the object. The green axis is going to be the width, and the blue axis is going to be the up and down, or the height of the object. Then we're going to go over here to our rectangle toolbar, and it's always a good idea to start the drawing at the origin. I'm going to left click and release and drag out, okay, in the direction I want to go. Now for my cutting board, the length of that is 400, so I'm going to type in 400. You'll notice in the bottom right hand corner there's a section there called dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to type in 400 and that appears there, and I'm going to type 350, which is our width, and press enter, and then my rectangle is drawn. Now to zoom in, you just scroll up using the scroll button if you're using PC. With Mac, using the 2-finger scroll, okay, and that will give you your zoom in. The other option is you can go camera and then go zoom window and draw a window over it, or otherwise zoom extents, and that will go into the whole object. Then I'm going to go here and use the push pull button, and I'm going to move my push pull tool over the rectangle. That rectangle there is becomes shaded. When I click on it now, I can push it up or down. The direction you move it in is going to determine which way it extrudes or pushes and pulls, but I'm going to tell it I want to go 19, so watch the bottom right hand corner again, press 19, enter, and the thickness of my board now is 19 millimeters. Now it's pretty simple to do that so far. What we're going to do is we're going to identify our different coloured timbers that we've used. So I'm going to use this tool here, which is called tape measure, and I'm going to left click from the side. Okay, I don't want to go from the end or the midpoint, okay, because that can sometimes throw out the measurements. So I'm going to left click and I'm going to drag in the direction I want to go. Notice how the arrow is green. That's a good thing because we're moving on the green axis. We're developing the width of it now. And I'm going to type in 70 because our boards were 70. And I'm going to do that 4 times. And I've developed guidelines there. Now those guidelines are easily deleted. That's why we're using those. But I'm going to put in lines now. And these are going to distinguish the different boards. Now this same method can be used on the bottom as well, okay? And that will give you obviously the definition between them. Now I'm going to show you the fill bucket. And the fill bucket gives you options to choose all different types of materials and textures. Obviously I'm selecting timber for mine, and I'm going to use different colours. I'm going to use this one and the lighter one. This will be the maple, this will be the pine that we've used. I'll start with that one. Then you just click on the section that you want. Oops. You can always fill over the top as well. So just change the material now, and now I've got my boards. And obviously I'd render the sides as well, and the ends, but I'm going to have to draw my lines in there first. So project down, otherwise if I do fill that at this stage, the whole thing's going to be filled. So I need to go back, orbit around, and draw my lines down. I can do it this way, or I can put guidelines in if you want. Notice, just draw my lines down. notice when you're drawing down, when you've got it up and down, it will go blue because that's that blue axis, and then I can fill those using the fill bucket. So it was pine there, there's then maple, and I can do that right round. Okay? So once you've got that, you've basically got, at this stage, your cutting board drawn. It's not a very difficult drawing, but we're going to add some features to it, like dimensions. So when we go click on our dimension tool, which is this one here, you can then click on an endpoint, another endpoint, drag it out, it tells me the length of it. I can always check the height as well, which should have been 19. Take that out, and that's fairly easy to do. Okay, put some dimension on there. You can also use this button here, which is text bar, and you can click on it. It comes up with a default of the size of the board at this point, but I'm just going to say that that's the maple piece. Okay, and you can put labels on it as well. Now, going back to this camera tool, if I want to now project, I'm going to go into ISO, okay, and I'll just zoom out a little bit. Okay, I've got an isometric projection already done for me. Obviously, you've rendered it all, but I can actually export that as a 2D graphic that can be imported to Word. So I'm going to go export, 2D graphic, and I'm just going to put that on my desktop. So there it is. I'm going to call that ISO of the cutting board. And press, it's a JPEG, that's what we want, export it. And then if we go to Word, we can then go Insert, Picture, and this can go into your folio. And it was on the desktop, isn't it? Yeah. And we've got the ISO cutting board. And there's my image in there. Now notice all these guidelines here, they can be actually deleted. If you go back to your Google Sketchup, there's a thing here called delete guidelines once you're finished with them, and then when you export it you won't have those in. Okay. Now if you've got a background that's other than white, it's a good idea to change that, so I'm just going to show that quickly as well. So if you go styles, right, and then click on this edit button here, you'll see this is the background one, the middle one here, right, and you can change the background to white. If that's set to a different colour, all right, just move that wheel all the way up, press OK, and then your background will be white. Quick overview of Google Sketchup. Hope you learn a bit of that. All right. Good luck.